Hey, so I was working with an ESL department recently, and we were talking about the challenge of creating an instructional video that is accessible in more than just the language of the educator that created it. So, in this particular scenario, the teacher's primary language was English, and they're connecting with students with a number of different languages that they wanted to make the videos accessible to those students. So, I was trying to think of ways that we could kind of troubleshoot that and figure out a reasonable process. Now, we could absolutely have the videos uploaded to YouTube and we can modify the closed captions in YouTube and add a second language. But that process of uploading to YouTube and then adding that secondary closed caption language, like, I don't know if that's a reasonable kind of sustainable process for an educator to work on. So I was trying to brainstorm ways to figure out a different process where the educator could actually create the video live with whatever screen recording tool they wanted to use. In this case, I'll use Screencastify, but you could use anything you wanted. But when they're creating that language in English, which is the process I'm going to demo now, they could have any other second language that they wanted that can support their students appear on the screen in real time. So here's one process that I've developed, and I hope this one helps, and we're just going to jump in and check it out right now. So I'm going to use Google Slides kind of as the backdrop as I'm making my instructional video, but you could use any kind of platform you wanted that you have your content built in. Now, the tools that I'm going to use to make this happen, right? I have my phone with me right now, and on my phone, I have Microsoft Translator installed. So Microsoft Translator is a free application that runs on the web and it runs on mobile devices. So I'm using an Android phone. You could use an iOS device. You could use an iPad, any device you wanted that can run that mobile app. And I'll explain why we need that running in just a minute. What I'm also going to do is run Microsoft Translator on my laptop where I'm making the video. So you can see here, I'm on Translator. I have me going into the call and my primary language is English. And then what I'm also going to do is check off that I'm using this in a classroom, because what that's going to allow is for me to speak and it picks up everything I say, and then it will kind of capture that live, even if I go off to another tab. So when I go back to my slides to make the video, it will still pick up my voice. Now, what I'm also doing in terms of my setup, this process, I'm also going to use Reflector. So what Reflector allows you to do is take your mobile device and have that kind of mirrored onto your laptop in real time. So the idea is I'm going to use Translator on my laptop where I'm making the video. Everything I say in English is going to go into Translator and then be received by my phone and have real-time translation into whatever target language I choose. Then I'm going to use Reflector to have my mobile phone kind of on the screen in real time. So when I make my screen recording, the students who just need to hear me in English, they can see my instruction, they can see my slides, everything I'm talking about. And then students that need to hear it in that second language, they'll see my phone, and what it's doing is picking up my voice and then translating to that second language in real time. So that's the idea. Now let's kind of go do the entire setup process. So the first thing I'm going to do is just mirror my phone so you can see that in real time. Process of mirroring with Reflector, it just depends what kind of device you're on. In this instance, I'm on an Android device. So if I swipe down from the top, and then I can pick the screencasting option. And when I select the screencasting option, you can see it's already connected to this particular laptop. If you're on an iOS device, you would also swipe down from the top. You would pick the AirPlay feature instead of screencasting, and that's the same as sending to like an Apple TV or any device that can receive your screen. So now that we're set up and we have the device mirrored to our screen, we're ready to keep pushing forward. Now what I'm going to do is go to Translator. So now on Translator, what I'll do is set up this call. I'll actually get this over here for a second. On Translator, I'll set up my call. So I put my name in, I'm speaking in English, and I'm using this in a classroom. I'll hit enter and I'll start that call. All right, so now to add any other device into it, there's a QR code. So what I'm going to do on my phone right now is click on the conversation icon right here. So I'm going to click on that icon right here off to the right that looks like two people conversing. Then notice how I can select my camera to grab that QR code. So I'll select the camera, then I'm just going to scan that QR code. There we go. And now I'm in the call. So on the phone on the right, now I get to pick any target language that I want to have that live translation. In this case, I'm going to pick Spanish Maybe I have a number of students in my class that speak Spanish and I want to make the video accessible to them in that capacity. So I'm just going to hit enter, and now it's joining the call. So the reason why, and let me just go back to Translator for a second on the web. The reason why I selected the classroom setting is it only has one voice as the input, just that one voice. And then when you're in presenter mode, you don't have to hold down the mic, hold down the keyboard or tap on your mic. It just picks up your voice, assuming that you're not at your computer. So now what I can do, I'm going to take my phone and put that over here off to the right, and everything that I say is going to pop up in real time. What I can also do now is jump back to my slides where I was going to create that video. So what I like to do as well is off to the right, so I can just make a little space for my phone. Like, you could minimize the window if you wanted to. I'll just pop open the Explore tool, so it just pushes my slides over a little bit and makes a nice little spot to drop my phone in there. And obviously, if I make the device a little bit bigger, then the text will be a little bit bigger as well for the student receiving the information in that target language. So now the setup is up and ready, and we're ready to go. So what I'm going to do now is start my screen recording. Now, like I said, you can use any screen recorder that you want. I'm going to use, in this instance, let's run my screen recorder, and what I'm going to use is Screencastify, just because it's a pretty commonly used tool. Now, what you have to make sure that you do in this instance, though, also, is not record a browser tab, but record your entire desktop, because you need it to be able to capture your slides and the phone that's being mirrored. So what I'll do is hit record, and we'll start the recording in just a minute. There we go. So I hit record, I'll pick what's being recorded, my entire desktop here with my phone as well, and I'll hit share. So now we are creating our instructional video, and all of the pieces have come together. I have my laptop that's on Microsoft Translator, and I'll go to that right now. So Microsoft Translator is running. It's in classroom mode and presenter mode, so it's only receiving my voice, and I don't have to hold down the space bar or tap on the microphone on the bottom of the screen in order for it to capture my voice. It's capturing everything I'm saying in real time. What I also have running at the same time is my phone is being mirrored to my laptop. In this case, I'm using Reflector to do that mirroring. And then finally, I've taken my phone and I've connected it to this call, this Microsoft Translator call, by adding in another user, and there's a QR code to add that user in, and that's what I scan with my phone. So then what I'm able to do is jump back to my instructional content where I would like to create the video. And in this case, I'm speaking in my language, my native language of English, but I'm able to convert my voice in real time into any selected language that I want. Now, what I cannot do, unfortunately, is speak to the quality of the translation. My Spanish is not of a high enough standard to be able to evaluate what's going on over there. I'll leave that to a native speaker or someone who works really closely with ESL students. My intention with the video is to create an approach and a solution that might ease the burden on educators trying to make their videos as accessible as possible. So I hope this process makes sense. I hope it's one that you feel like you'll be able to replicate and make your videos more accessible to your students. What I'll do in the description below is add a link to a document that has step-by-step instructions of the process that I mapped out as well, with any necessary links to Microsoft Translator or Reflector. So hopefully this video is helpful. I appreciate you watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can get access to any upcoming videos as well. So thanks again, and good luck creating your instructional videos.